Welcome back to the Scramble Drill Podcast, episode 2 and of the end of the regular season. This one, we talked about week 18 yesterday, and now it's time, Landon. It is time to get into the most exciting part of the season, and that is the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're in the wild card round.
I could not be more thrilled. Look, we love fantasy football, but it is fun watching football when you don't have to pull for any players or it's just watching football. And that's what we're about to get into. And
I still am pulling for certain players.
I'm pumped about this.
I get a little player bias. I fall in love with certain players.
Yeah, but
still.
But if they don't do well, other than like Josh Allen, if anyone else doesn't do well, it doesn't hurt you. It's just it just happened, right? So yeah. Let's get into it. I'm pumped about this.
We're going to go by time slot, not any particular, favoritism order. So let's jump into, this will be going on Saturday. There's 2 games on Saturday. Rams and Panthers play at 4:30 on Saturday. It's a rematch in the same stadium where it happened last time, where the Panthers defeated the Rams in a shocking turn of events.
Yep.
Landon.
Yep.
Is that going to happen again?
So I think that was week 14. And so obviously going into this one, of course, the Rams are big favorites. It was 9.5 yesterday we recorded. Now it's 10.5. Like so the money is coming in on the Rams side there.
What's crazy is don't they normally give the home team like 3 points? So really they're saying this is going to be like a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah. And I think that's changed a bit recently, but obviously they're 10.5 point favorites. The Rams are, and they were the best team in the league for 15 weeks this year. So that makes some sense. But I'm going to give you a few things that are going for the Panthers. Okay. Let's start there. Let's say a few things that are in the Panthers' favor at this point. All right.
Okay, I'm listening.
1, the Rams, ever since the start of the fourth quarter of the Seahawks game, have not played well, particularly. So you're looking at this point, that's 9 quarters, right? They beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are terrible. They've given up. The only thing that was happening for the Cardinals is they were trying to get Trey McBride receptions. That's it. That's all they were doing, right? So they had given up. They beat them, but it was not like a convincing win. They lose to the Falcons on Monday night. And then they obviously blow the 16-point lead to Seattle and in the biggest game of the year and lose the division, lose the 1 seed, lose all that. So that's one thing going for the Panthers. The Rams are not particularly playing great.
Another thing is this. On the side
we don't know how healthy Devontae Adams is.
He's practicing in full today. That's what I was literally about to say, is they haven't had Devontae for about 3 weeks. And he practiced fully today.
Yeah, no. And it's clear they missed him. Like, it is clear they missed him, and we don't know how healthy he is. Maybe he's fine. Maybe, he could have played last week. That's probably the case. Like if this game was a week ago, he probably would have played, right? But we're not 100% sure how healthy he is. And sneaky thing, this is a West Coast team traveling east for a 4:30 game on Saturday. So obviously the Rams, they play the worst team in the playoffs, so the Panthers, so they get that break. But they do get the worst time slot possible for them. Like if they could have chosen, this would have been their last time slot they wanted. So that's something. Outside of that, the Panthers have nothing. Nothing going. They don't. I don't know if they have an advantage at any position group. Do you?
I mean, the only thing I think is the Panthers have a good corner, J.C. Horn. He's a stud. That's it. That's all I got. Is J.C. Horn's a stud.
J.C. Horn's good. And, I mean, there's guys who've had good years. It's just, man, the Rams are the number 1 scoring offense in the league, and the Panthers are like in the mid to low 20s. Do we need anything else?
How are we here? How is this team here in the playoffs?
Do we need anything else? And you get this, every 3, 4, 5 years, there's a division winner below 500. Used to it would be like 8-8. Now it's 8-9. And yeah, I mean, they earned it. They earned it by default. They get a home playoff game, but they get to play what still could be the best team in the league. And, the Rams basically have every advantage over the Panthers other than the three things I mentioned, which one of them, Devontae Adams, may be fine. So that might not even be anything.
They completely nullify it.
Yeah, that may completely nullify it. So this is the game I'm least excited to watch of this first round. But then again, if the Panthers can make this a game, like, that'd be awesome.
This will be the Cinderella story of all Cinderella stories if they pull this off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a team in the playoffs that I would pick the Panthers against in a playoff game. I know this game has already been played in Carolina this year, but playoffs are different, man. Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford.
I feel like the one where they beat them in Carolina, like, it was a trap game. I don't remember, but I feel like they had just come off of a big game.
For sure,
it was absolutely a trap. You caught them off guard. That's not going to happen this time. It's just not.
Yeah, and so I'll say it like I did last year when it was Washington versus Detroit in the playoffs, and Washington was going to Detroit to play the 1 seed Detroit Lions, who were banged up. But I said, you look at these rosters, even with Detroit's injuries, these rosters aren't close, right? I mean, Washington is nowhere near Detroit's roster, and we see that this year. They've both taken a step back, but Detroit won 8 games, Washington won 4. So, like, you see the difference. My take was they got to just turn it over. They have to force turnovers, and they did. Jared Goff melted in the fourth quarter, turned it over. I believe he turned it over 3 times. And Jamison Williams also threw a pick, if you remember that.
I do.
And so that was the path. That's the path for the Panthers. Last time, I'm looking at the box score of the last game.
Well, also,
Stafford threw 2 picks, one being a pick 6, and he lost a fumble. And they won by 3. And the Panthers didn't turn it over. Like, that's the path. That is the only path.
But one thing,
this
too,
Panthers team
last year is Jaden was either equal to or, in our opinions, better than Jared Goff.
Yeah.
That is not the case over here.
Yeah, right. That's not the case now. We have been on the record. We like Bryce Young as a person. We just don't think he has it. He doesn't have that gear. And so I think it literally has to be like, they might have to have a defensive touchdown, and they're going to have to turn it over because this defense is a fine defense. Like, the Panthers have an okay defense, but they're not going to be able to stop the Rams. Like, they're not going to force punts, which is what I said about Washington last year. They're not going to force punts. I think Detroit only punted once in that game. Like, it's just the defense isn't good enough to do that. They're going to have to be turnovers. They were able to do it last time. We'll see if they're able to this time, and maybe they move on. But this is a tall task for Bryce Young and company in the first round.
Yeah, I don't think we need to spend a whole ton more time here. But like, it's like you said, it's very simple. This one should not be interesting. This Rams should. It's not going to be a blowout, I don't think, but the Rams should handle their business easily in this one.
Right. Right. And so I think all these games we ask the same question.
I was going to say
about
that.
Each team.
We're going to ask 2 questions about each team for each of them. Do we think this team can win it all? And can this team win it all?
Okay. And the difference in those questions is
some of it is like bias. Okay, I'll spoil a little bit before we get there, but like with Seattle, we talked about it yesterday on the episode. We like Seattle's team as a whole. We think Seattle's team is incredible. We know the weakness is Sam Darnold. Do I think Seattle can win it all with Sam Darnold? I don't know. I don't think so. But can they? Absolutely, they have the talent to win it all. I guess does that make sense?
Okay, I think I understand a little bit.
Okay.
For the Panthers, the answer to both is no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this team is not even if they upset the Rams, this team is not winning 4 straight playoff games.
Absolutely not.
Like, I mean, that's just that'd be unbelievable. That'd be awesome. It'd be great for the state of North and South Carolina. It ain't happening.
No.
The Rams can and should be thinking Super Bowl. They are in the spot. I know they're the 5 seed. they're in the spot where if they don't win the Super Bowl, this season is a failure at this point.
No, I agree with that. The Rams.
Yeah. And I know they haven't been playing well down the stretch.
The Rams as the 5
that's
seed.
where we have to get with this team.
I still think the Rams. There's a good argument to be made for Seattle, but I still think the Rams are the best team overall. I really do.
Yeah.
So, can they win it all? Yes.
They got a great argument for it.
Do you and I think they should? Also, yes.
Yeah.
All right. I think that wraps up game 1. Game 2. This one's going to be ugly, dude.
Awesome.
It doesn't matter who wins or loses. This one's
going
to be ugly for both sides. It is Green Bay going into Soldier Field as the 7 seed to play the 2 seed Chicago Bears. They split during the season.
Round 3.
They split during the season. Both of those games were close. Both of these teams hate each other's guts. And that bodes well for us non-Bears and Packers fans as a spectacle. This is going to be ugly for the fans, for whichever one loses.
Yeah. So on the Green Bay side, obviously the biggest question going into the game is the health of both Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs. Those are their 2 best players on the whole team with Micah Parsons out. Or I should say, those need to be their 2 best players on the whole team with Micah Parsons out.
Yeah.
And so how is Love going to look coming off this injury? Third time around, he didn't. How long did he play in that second game in Chicago? It was short,
right? He went out early. He went out really. I think it was first quarter he went out.
Let me look if I can find. I mean, he threw 13 passes. So it might have been in the second quarter.
It was early, though.
And obviously Malik Willis came in and played really good.
Most of the game.
But, yeah. Malik Willis came in, played really well. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this needs to be a Jordan Love game because the Bears, though they have started slow in a lot of these games, they started very slow the second game around with Green Bay. They were good against the Niners from start to finish offensively. And then obviously this past week against the Lions, nothing for 3+ quarters. And then obviously the surge late. So on the Green Bay side, though, the thing about the Bears is not only the slow start on offense, their defense is just not good. They just have not been good down the stretch. You saw what San Francisco did to them. The Lions were able to move the ball a bunch. The Lions, they didn't finish drives with touchdowns. They were getting field goals, but they were able to move the ball a lot. I think the Packers are going to need Jordan Love to not just be he has so many kind of just lull you to sleep, take what the defense gives you. Packers win 20-17 games, I feel like. I don't think that's going to be enough. I think Chicago's going to be able to move the ball. I think they're going to score points. I think Jordan Love's going to need to get to at least 24, maybe 27 to win this game. But it's going to be chippy. It's going to be physical and chippy, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah. On the Bears side, I don't know. I'm looking at it right now. Do we know when or if Rome is supposed to come back?
I was just thinking about that. I was just wondering about Rome's health.
He was limited today, they said.
I haven't. Okay.
Because he has not played in
I'd imagine he's playing. I would imagine he's playing. I mean, this is at home. This is a playoff game. This is the biggest game the Bears have played. What, since the double doink game? Was that the last big game the Bears have been in? Is that the last time they made the playoffs, or have they made it since then?
Yeah. No, that was the last.
That was 2017.
That was the last time they made the playoffs.
Is that the last time they made it? Yeah. And so you got all this momentum.
DJ Moore.
I mentioned this
up.
after
he needs to play in this one too.
They're all going to have to play. I think both these teams are going to be able to move the ball. I don't think it's going to be 38-35, but I think both these teams have a good chance to get into the 20s. I'm going to need to see a few things from the Bears. One is, look, we both really like Ben Johnson, but he's done a great job, right? I'm going to need him not to have a receiver throw an interception in a big spot like he did last year in the Washington game. Like, as good of a play designer and play caller, yeah, as good as he is at that, man, he does get a little too cute at times. And it's awesome. Last year when he was with Detroit, when it was working against the Bears in the regular season. But when you try that stuff in the playoffs and Jamison Williams throws an interception to end your season, dude, I mean, he can't do that. We saw, I believe it was the Packers game. It was the first drive. They marched down the field, 4th and 1, throw a snap in between the tight end's legs over their 5'7" running back's head. And that's the end of the drive. Like, we can't have that here. No. So I'm a little worried about Ben Johnson in that realm, because he seems to at times like call plays so people think he's a genius. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like when his plays work too, that's what everybody says. Like, oh wow, he's so smart. He's so good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. But I feel like people have just forgotten. Like, yeah, the Lions melted down last year against Washington. Jared Goff did not play well. Jamison Williams threw a 4th quarter interception of a game to go to the NFC Championship against a team you're better than. Like, that's crazy.
And I agree, and I hope it doesn't come down to that, because we know Ben Johnson's a genius. Like, we've seen it. I've seen how he just turned around the Bears in 1 year. Your genius is not in question. Show me you can win a playoff game. That's what I need to see. I need to see you win this playoff game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That was like last year. It wasn't a huge deal in the media. I don't remember it being, but like I remember thinking like, there was the quote. They were talking about the tush push, and I think it was Ben Johnson. I'm 95% sure it was Ben Johnson who said, "Yeah, we don't like going for 1 yard. We like throwing it deep," or something. He said something to that effect, and I was like,
that's all well and
good.
Dude,
that's lost you a playoff game before. Like, that's literally cost you a game. And so that is a question mark. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's not going to be conservative, but I think he's going to be reasonable with his play calling. And here's the thing. Here's always what you worry about when you're going into a playoff game with a quarterback who's never played in the playoffs. Some guys are just not up for it. We've seen it. We've seen guys be really good in the regular season, get to the playoffs, and they're just not up for it. And it's always a question, no matter how good you play. Like I have Drake May questions on that front right now, even though he might win the MVP. Like, so Caleb, that's going to be a question. Can their defense turn it over? Their defense is terrible yardage wise. They've been okay causing turnovers. They're going to need to do that, I think, because I've seen Jordan Love be great in the playoffs. Now I've seen him be terrible in the playoffs last year against the Eagles, but I've seen him have good moments. But man, an NFC North third time around, like, sign me up. And here's the other thing. Not only is it pressure of a playoff game, which is awesome, there's a little added pressure in that Ben Johnson specifically called out the Packers when he took this job. Remember that? Opening press conference. That's one of the first things he said was like, I took this job to beat Green Bay or something to that effect. The other thing is like, man, if you would have told Chicago beginning of the year, Caleb has the year he does, you finish as the 2 seed, you make the playoffs, and you get bounced in round 1, Chicago fans are probably thrilled with that.
But not to this.
But if you said it's the Packers who bounce you, I don't think they're thrilled with that.
Not this one.
So dude, there's pressure on both sides, obviously, even higher than just a playoff game pressure, and I could not be more here for it.
As not a fan of it, if I was a fan of either of these teams, my blood pressure would be
I would
through
hate
the roof right now. As a non-fan, I love it.
Yeah.
Love it. The 2 questions on each of them. Can Green Bay win it all?
I don't think so.
Can Chicago win it all?
I would say right now, no. There's There's 7 teams in this playoff field. I would have them as the 5th best odds.
Yeah.
Like in the NFC field. Like I would have the only teams I would have below them are the Packers and the Panthers. I think every other team is more likely.
I agree with that.
They're really close with the 49ers, actually. Really close.
I think Chicago could get to the NFC Championship. I think that's what I would put their ceiling at.
Maybe.
I think they could get to the NFC
they could.
Championship. I don't see them winning the NFC Championship.
They could. Yeah.
So I think
because you got to think if they win this game, if they win this game and there's no, let's just assume there's no upsets. Well, there's going to be an upset. Rams over, like seeding wise,
that's
upset.
not an upset.
Yeah, it's not an upset, but seeding wise. So if there's no other upsets, like if the 49ers don't beat the Eagles, they'd be playing in Philly.
Yeah.
Next week. And if the 49ers do beat the Eagles, they're going to San Francisco, which we just saw that game as well. So we've actually seen both those games this year. They beat Philly in Philly. They lost to San Francisco in San Francisco. So it'll be fun. I would put them as a no right now. But if we come out here and Caleb elevates his game in the playoffs, my answer next week might be different.
Yeah, Caleb will be the linchpin of them. And obviously there's a lot of flaws for Chicago. You talked about the defense and stuff, but I agree. If Caleb balls out, we'll be having a different conversation next week. Okay.
Yep.
There's 3 games on Sunday, 1 game on Monday. I think this is the game I'm most excited for. 1 o'clock on Sunday. Bills at Jags, 4 versus 5. No. 2 versus 6. 3 versus 6. 3 versus 6. I'm sorry. 3 versus 6.
Yeah.
We're talking about possibly the most complete team, or arguing for it, possibly the most complete team, probably in the AFC, potentially in the NFC, although I think the NFC has a few stronger teams. Jacksonville Jaguars. A season probably none of us expected would happen for them. And then the team that has been on the cusp of things time and time again. If it's going to happen, it needs to happen right now, the Buffalo Bills. Where do you want to start for this one?
I want to talk Jags first, and then spend the majority of our time on the Bills because that's what we have to do just with the way this is set up. So this is an awesome matchup, and I honestly think whoever wins is my pick to get to the Super Bowl in the AFC.
Interesting.
Of this matchup. Jacksonville, dude, they're good. They have players everywhere. And I know, you look at that defense, they are the best at stopping the run in the NFL. They're number 1 against the run in the NFL. In certain stats. And they're top 3 in any run stopping stat you'll see. Right? And then Trevor, dude, first off, ETN's been really good this year. He's not had an elite season, but he's been good this year. Trevor in his last 6 games,
great in pass catching too.
19 touchdowns, 1 turnover.
God, I didn't realize it was that much.
19-1.
I mean, he had a 6 touchdown game. I know that. I did not realize that.
He has been absolutely on fire. On fire. Now, have they played the best competition? No, but they played the Broncos. The Broncos have a good defense, right?
They came into
they have won
and popped them.
Yeah, so they hammered the Chargers, and then beat the Cardinals, smashed the Titans, smashed the Colts, smashed the Jets, smashed the Colts again, Titans again. So those teams aren't great, but they scored 34 on Denver. That is, I might not be a super believer in Denver for Super Bowl, but their defense is good, and they come in and they put up whatever 34 points, and so this team is on fire. And they're at home. Now, it's not a great home field advantage. You don't think of Jacksonville as a tough place to play, right? But they have it in front of them. And I guarantee you, Ben, if they win this game, turn on any show Monday morning, any ESPN, Fox, YouTube, any football covering show, they're going to be people's pick to win the Super Bowl if they win this game. That's the position they're in.
I mean, you listed off all these things, and there's a reason I think they are the best team in the AFC. There are teams with a better quarterback. There are teams with perhaps a better coach. Of course, I don't know. Liam Cohen did a dang good job this year.
Cohen's been awesome.
He's
been
might
awesome.
be coach of the year. We'll see. I feel like the tide turned. Jacoby Myers turned the tide for this team. Did it feel like that to you?
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers turned the tide for this team. He settled down Trevor. He gave him a reliable option. Parker Washington's been good.
I think it was around that time. I would probably give more of an edge of it to the schedule really lightening up alongside him coming in and then just getting momentum. And right now the momentum and vibes are through the roof.
They are the hottest team in football. Dude, no question in my opinion. The hottest team.
Easily. And man, it's been fun to watch. They're really good, dude. So your question about can they or will they win the Super Bowl, whatever? Yes, for both.
Yeah, both of
us.
They're
that good.
Now, it's going to be tough because there's several teams I think will win it. Can I think they win it? Yes. Do I think can they win it? Yeah. Do I think they will? Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be to several
Trevor
teams
in the playoffs.
I mean, the dude.
Trevor has played
one time.
So he's played 8 playoff quarters. He's played about 5 good ones. The second half of that game, and then the first 3 quarters against the Chiefs, he was really good, and 3 bad ones. The fourth quarter against the Chiefs, he threw a terrible pick at the end, and they were down big. And then obviously the first 2 quarters against the Chargers, he turned it over 4 times, and they were down 100 points or whatever it was. We ended up coming back to win, but so he's got a little bit of a mixed bag in his 2 playoff starts, but I don't know, man. This team
had this much
is rolling
and this good of a season heading into those playoff games either.
And I love their defense, and I like their weapons. Like people complain about BTJ this year obviously falling off, but the other way to look at that from a Jags perspective is like, dude, BTJ is like our second or third best pass catcher this year.
Like good.
That's a good thing for them, right? Like obviously you'd love to have an alpha, but like that means other guys are stepping up, and man, this team's hot.
Doing without Travis Hunter too.
Yeah, without the guy they traded up so much capital to go get. So this is I'm excited about this one. But let's talk Bills. This is what the people come for, Ben.
Yeah. And it's interesting you mentioned the run defense for the Jacksonville Jaguars because James Cook has the rushing crown this year. He leads the NFL in rushing yards. Yeah. So it's strength on strength. I mean, where do we want to begin? I think Buffalo's defense is highly exploitable.
I've got a lot to say.
I don't think, but Buffalo's defense is good. Don't get me wrong. I think they can cause problems for Trevor, but I also don't see them being like a massive hurdle that are going to shut down the Jags either. Like, I think the Jags could easily score 27 points on them.
Yeah, and look, we can go back and forth about defense and James Cook and blah, 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 blah. We know what this is about, Ben.
I know what it's about.
It's about number 17. It's about number 17. And
I need it to happen, dude.
I will say this. This is the most pressure I remember on a player in the NFL. Gosh, I don't know. Maybe Aaron. Do you remember the year Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa? They played in I don't remember if it was divisional round or NFC championship.
I do remember when they played.
There was so much pressure on Aaron. They ended up losing that game. Maybe then, but like other than that, I don't remember this much pressure being on one player in my life. As much as Josh Allen is going into these playoffs.
And I like it and I don't like it because I feel like there's been a ton of pressure on him for the past several years. And because for obvious reasons, but he's always stepped up to the plate and it's been one guy standing in his way who comes up just a hair ahead of him every time. And the pressure's there, obviously, because that guy's not in his way. Lamar's not there. Burrow's not there. The problem is,
Yeah.
and it's hard to talk around the topic because Josh needs to win this game. He needs to carry the Bills to the Super Bowl. But I think this is the worst team he's had in about 5 years.
It's true. That's true.
So,
this is not the
really
best team
hard.
he's had, but this AFC field, it's not going to matter. And so Allen has been, rightly so, because he is an all-timer. He has been a media darling the past few years. I don't know if it's Chiefs fatigue. I don't know what it is, but he has been a media darling. I've said it for weeks now. If he doesn't make the Super Bowl, I do think that changes this year. I think he's going to catch some heat, even with the roster he has, if he doesn't make it. Ben, I'm gonna make a list of quarterbacks, and you tell me what this is a list of, okay? Here's the list. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. What is that a list of?
Teams in the AF or quarterbacks in the active quarterbacks in the AFC who've made the Super Bowl.
Yes, that is a list of active quarterbacks who have made the Super Bowl in the AFC since Brady's last Super Bowl, essentially. We'll just call it that. It's been 6 years. Mahomes has made 5, which somehow he has become the people have forgotten that already. I don't get it. He made 5. Burrow made 1. It is also another list, Ben. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. That is the list of quarterbacks that have beaten Josh Allen in a playoff game since he became the Josh Allen we know now. That's the only 2 people. Nobody else has beat him. Burrow got him once. Mahomes got him 4 times. Both those guys aren't there. The pressure, and just to add to this, let's say he doesn't make it, okay? Let's say they get bounced. I don't care what round. If he doesn't make it, Ben, who's making the Super Bowl in the AFC? Give me the quarterbacks who might make it.
I don't like the answer to this question. Either Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, who we'll talk about in a minute, or C.J. Stroud.
There's a few more.
Or C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud. Maybe Herbert gets it.
We'll talk about Herbert in a minute.
Like, this is the list of guys. Are we going to be in a place come that first week of February where C.J. Stroud has made a Super Bowl and Josh Allen hasn't? Or Drake May or Trevor. I mean, this is what we're dealing with.
Interesting is I feel like this could be a question that'll pop up here. I don't think it'll happen with May. I don't think it'll happen with Lawrence. I don't think it'll happen with Stroud. But if like Herbert gets to the Super Bowl over Josh Allen, I could see conversations where people put Herbert over Josh Allen as a better quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, that's another layer to this.
Yeah.
The best player in the world is up for grabs in the sense of, as of right now, it's Josh Allen. He holds the title, but he does not have a firm grip on it. Like the past few years, Mahomes has had a firm grip on that. Right now, it's like everyone's like, it's Josh Allen kind of by default. I know some people already had him there. But if he wins the Super Bowl, I mean, it's like locked up. He's the best player in the world, right?
Mahomes has to win another Super Bowl.
He gets bounced in round 1. Yeah, if he gets bounced in round 1 and Stafford wins the Super Bowl, or I think even if Drake May wins it, or maybe if you're not going to like this, if Jalen Hurts wins it, there are going to be conversations of who is the best player in the world. And they might be fair. So this is the most pressure Josh Allen has ever had on him. I know it was a ton last year when he was facing the Chiefs again. I believe that was the AFC Championship game last year, right? Yes, AFC Championship game. There was a ton. Somehow there's more this year, and I'm excited to see. I think he's going to rise to it. If I had to pick right now, they're my pick to get to the Super Bowl. But he's going to have to do it. This pressure is mounting on him.
Yeah. And it's going to be tough. What if he loses a shootout to Jacksonville? What if he loses like 38 to 41, something like that?
That'll be one thing. Yeah, I mean that is.
He cannot have a bad game.
I wouldn't say.
Under no circumstances can he have a bad game.
No. If he loses a shootout, like, it won't be like the 13 seconds game. He lost a shootout in that one, and people, like, gave him bonus points for that. They were like, that was a great thing for Josh Allen. It won't be that. So they won't say it's a good thing that he loses a shootout. He might get a little pass, if he scores 38 points. But I still think there's going to be some that actually come after him a little bit. And if he scores, 17 points.
No, that's not good. That's not going to be
He's
good.
really going to hear about it.
That's not going to be good.
Not going to be good. So I'm pumped about this game. I also think, though, Ben,
I'm nervous.
if they win this game.
This is the only time I pull as a player. Like, this feels like a fantasy championship to me. I'm like, dude, that's my boy out there. I love Josh Allen. I've loved Josh Allen since he was at Colorado. Or not Colorado, I'm sorry, Wyoming.
And I love him too.
So if that's my boy out there.
If you could
that's
say,
my boy.
Hey, if you could say, Landon, you get to pick who wins the Super Bowl this year, I would want it to be Bills, Rams, and I don't care who wins. That's my take. That's like what I want to happen, right? Like I want Josh Allen to do it. But the pressure's mounting on him, and I'm pumped about it. But I was about to say that the other thing is, if they win this game, I think they're feeling like, oh, we're the best team. That's how I think. If they win this game,
they have to be the favorite to win it all, because that's the best team in the AFC. In my opinion, that's the best team. The Patriots are good.
Yes.
The Broncos are good, especially on defense. Jags are the most complete team. So if they can go into Jacksonville and beat them,
right,
they should beat anybody else.
They should feel like, hey man, we're the best team, and I would have to think about it. That would be an upset. So they'd probably go to Foxborough. Yeah, unless who's the 7th seed there? Unless the Chargers beat the Patriots, they would go to Foxborough.
Yeah,
and so that'd be awesome. Because I love them in that game. Like, the Patriots certainly could win, obviously, but I would love them in that game.
Yeah,
I would pick the Bills in that game as well.
And there's another aspect to it.
Yeah.
Outside of Josh Allen, if the Bills lose this game, obviously there's going to be Josh Allen conversations. But if the Bills lose this game, is it time to cut? I mean, I already think it is, but do you think it's time they just done with McDermott? Is it over?
100%. 100%. I think if we're going to talk about Harbaugh, I think if the Ravens had not already fired Harbaugh, they might keep him around. But when they look down and they think we could either have Kevin Stefanski or Jim Harbaugh, I think they would cut bait.
Yeah, I think you got to.
Because obviously both those guys are going to want to go there. So I think they would cut bait.
I mean, when if you have two elite options and a guy that's proven he's good but not great, you've got to.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Long story short, question on both of these: can these teams win it all, and do we think these teams will win it all? Yes to both for each of these teams.
I think, they definitely, yeah. I think both these teams should be thinking Super Bowl. With the Jags, it's not Super Bowl or bust. Like, they can have a successful season even if they don't make the Super Bowl. But I think they should be thinking, hey man, we could win this thing.
They've got an opportunity. They do.
Yep.
All right. The 4:30 game on Sunday, 49ers Eagles. I'm excited about this matchup personally. I know a lot of people wanted somebody, or maybe wanted the 49ers to go to the Bears, or I don't know. I wanted 49ers Eagles, man. I think there's a lot of pressure on both teams, but if I'm the Eagles, I'm sweating. I'm sweating with Kyle Shanahan and the boys coming to town. I'm sweating.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing. I have the utmost confidence in the Eagles defense and real questions about their offense. Like, have I seen this collection of guys absolutely put on offensive clinics? Yes, I have. But also, have I seen them go quarters and halves without passing yards this year? Yes, I have. So I have questions about the Eagles offense. Love their defense. I love the Niners offense, assuming Trent Williams plays. If Trent Williams doesn't play, I'm picking Philly. No doubt about it. But if he plays, assuming he plays, which it looks like he's going to, I love the Niners offense and have so many questions about their defense. Like, I don't even know if they're questions, actually. I think I actually just know the answers. Their defense is not, they're just too hurt. I remember after the Bosa injury, we came on here and I was like, I don't know how they overcome this. And then Warner goes down, and now it's looking like he may play in the playoffs at some point if they make it deep, but he's not going to play this week, I don't think. After he went down, I was like, it's just too much. You can't overcome that. And then they started stringing together wins, and I was like, okay, maybe you can, but then they lost more guys in this last game against Seattle. I do not think they have enough on defense. 38 points to Chicago. They more guys have gotten injured. I mean, I think they could win this game with this defense, especially with the offensive struggles Philly has had. It's a lot for me to say, are they going to win 4 straight playoff games? But I do think they're very live in this game, man. I think they're very alive.
I'm with you. I don't know if San Francisco has the juice. I think they have the talent. There are just too many injuries for them to get all the way. But I think they got more than enough to win this game, dude. With the offensive struggles Philly has. And, dude, they just had a really bad game against Seattle. I get that. Seattle's got a monster defense, and so does Philly. Playoff Kyle Shanahan can do it, dude. With Brock Purdy, I mean, with Trent Williams notwithstanding, I think everybody else outside of Ricky Pearsall is there, and all they really need is Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey, and they'll figure something out. So,
yeah, honestly, for me, the biggest factor is, does Trent Williams play? If Trent Williams plays, which as of right now, this is Tuesday night, it looks like he's going to. So, that team's completely different if he plays. I know they had a couple great games there, but you saw against Seattle when they're playing a good defense and they don't have him, dude, it's just not the same. I mean, there's an argument to be made. He's the best non-quarterback in football. Seriously. Like I've seen a lot of people make that argument. So I don't understand offensive line play like those people do, but like, he is the guy. He is absolutely a first ballot Hall of Famer guy. So if he plays, they're very alive, man. And I will say this, and this is something that Philly fans are kind of like, other fans, they understand Philly has a great fan base, but other fans don't like Philly fans because they're obnoxious and they boo too much and all this stuff, right? But they acknowledge, like, it's a great fan base for home playoff games.
Yeah.
Here's the flip side of that, though. I watched my Philadelphia Phillies. I'm going to talk baseball for a second. I watched them this year struggle to hit at home. And yes, that is an awesome fan base when it's going well, but they are quick to boo. Those fans turn quick. If the Eagles come out and they go 3 and out, 5 and out, 3 and out, 3 punts, there's no more good home field advantage at that point.
No.
The Boo Birds are going to be out. And every time anything negative happens, they're going to be hearing it from the fans. And they're not going to be cheering for the 49ers. But dude, I'm telling you, it's tough to play at your home stadium when you're getting booed. It just is, especially in a playoff matchup. And the Philly fans will do it. So if things are going well,
that like all season, there have been these off the field issues, like locker room issues. So if that happens again in the playoffs, I mean, the sideline could melt down.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I've watched the Eagles play this year. I've watched the fans boo when they were winning games. Like, they will be winning the game. And if they have 2 consecutive 3 and outs, the Boo Birds are coming. So this 49ers defense is too beat up. They've got, if they can't move the ball in this game, they don't deserve to, they're not good enough to make a run. It's that simple. If you can't move the ball against the 49ers, I'm going to think real quick. Yeah, no, I just went through it. This is the worst defense in the playoffs with the injuries, right? If everybody was healthy, be a completely different story. With these injuries, this is the worst defense they will face the rest of the year, no matter who they play. So,
and give some props to Saleh too. Saleh's a good defensive coordinator. Hopefully, he can figure some.
He's a very good
out.
defensive coordinator.
He can figure some things out, maybe.
He doesn't have the horses.
No,
he does not have the horses. Like this is Aaron Glenn last year in the playoffs. He just doesn't, everybody's hurt. He doesn't have the players to do it. And so my point is, even if Philly wins, if they win this game, 18-15, 17-12, like if it's one of those games, I'll be hard pressed to pick them going forward because this defense is very gettable. And I need to see them be able to perform offensively to think this team's going to win 4 straight playoff games.
Well, especially with Seattle and let's go ahead and lock the Rams into it. We're in Seattle and LA looming. That's not good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
do we think these teams can win it all, and can they win it all?
I think the 49ers defense is too beat up. I think they're very alive in this game. I think they could win this game. Maybe we get a great Shanahan performance. And let's not forget, Shanahan, as great of a coach as he is, if there's one thing against him, it has been late game playoff situations as an offensive coordinator and as a head coach. Like, he gets a little tight, he gets a little conservative and weird, and he's had some struggles there. There was obviously, I don't want to bring it up. You know what I'm going to bring up? The Brady comeback Super Bowl. There was the
rude.
There was another one against somebody. And then a couple years ago in the Super Bowl, there was a big moment when the Chiefs beat him in the Super Bowl where he kicks a field goal to tie the game. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You could end the game right here by getting a first down. Or it was something. Yeah, he kicks a field goal to give the ball back to Mahomes when he could have got a first down. Yeah, and that was the game to me. Like, if they would have got a first down on 4th and 3, I would have gone for it 100% of the time. So that was a weird decision. He's made weird decisions, late playoff situations. So maybe we get one of those again. Maybe he overcomes that, because if it's close late, you know which coach I like better.
Oh, yeah. Between him and Sirianni, it's not a question.
I do think this might be a spot where we might see some complete buffoonery from Nick Sirianni.
I hope.
I don't know why.
I hope we do.
I don't have like a stat for that, but I've got a hunch. Like, we could see if this is a 3-point game in the 4th quarter, we might see some ridiculous clock management or a terrible something. Like he might throw a challenge on a play that's clearly not challengeable, like something like that.
Or it's like,
we could see some buffoonery.
It's 1st and 10,
and I'm here for it. Yeah, and I'm here for it. Yeah, so
I hope that happens. I would say I think the 49ers can win it all, but I don't think they can win it all for the same reasons you do. And I'm going to go the same thing for Philly. Can they win it all? Absolutely. Yeah. They just did it last year. They have one of the best rosters in football. I just don't think they do. Not right now. Their offense just isn't good enough.
I think they can. Their offense hasn't been good enough. But if they come out and look great this game and get some momentum on that side, who knows? But I think they can get there, especially if the Rams win, they're going to play Seattle if there's no other upsets, and if they play Seattle, one of those teams is knocking the other off, and so I don't know, but I think they could. I still don't completely understand both questions, but I think they could win.
Maybe we should just change it to one. I guess one was like, bias aside, like, is this team have the horses to win? Yes. And one was like our personal opinion. Maybe we'll just switch it to one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think they do, but I think they could.
Yeah. All right. Game 3 of Sunday, which will be... Let me get my phone back out because I let it die. Okay. This one actually I'm excited about. There's a guy I like in this game. It's the Patriots versus the Chargers.
Yeah.
This one...
My guy versus your guy.
Yeah, it is. Let's start with the Patriots because I have a lot more to say about the Chargers. Let's start with the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 concerns, right? I like Vrabel. Vrabel's had a couple weird playoff moments in Tennessee, but he didn't he never had the horses. Like he was the 1 seed before, but he was never like, we never went into the playoffs thinking, oh man, Tennessee should win this Super Bowl.
Derrick
Right?
Henry.
That's never happened.
That was just Tennessee when he was
Yeah,
there.
I mean, it was Derrick Henry. It was Ryan Tannehill. Like, I mean, yeah. So the guy was playing receiver in college, and he's out here trying to win the Super Bowl with him at quarterback. So the only 2 questions are the schedule, and anytime you have a first playoff game for a quarterback, it's always a question. So I don't know if Drake May is going to be a rise to the moment guy or a shrink guy. I don't know. But those are the only 2 questions you can have about them. But I think the strength of schedule one is something. I know people on Twitter, my goodness, like you pull up Twitter and people who want Drake May to win the MVP are like, the strength of schedule does not matter at all. It matters a little bit. They've had the easiest schedule of the century. Like that matters.
I love
some.
how they pull up stats of like Stafford versus team over 500 and May versus teams over 500. I'm not really reading into it all, but like the arguments are crazy.
Yeah. So I actually don't. Well, let's take a second here. I don't have a strong take about MVP. I like both guys. I would like to see Stafford win, but if Drake wins, it'd be great. I don't have a strong feeling. Do you?
I don't either. I think I genuinely think both guys are deserving. Both guys are very deserving of the award. I don't have a feeling of who wins it, to be honest. Like I don't
either.
Both of them had good late season pushes. Stafford had a horrible week 17, while May had an incredible week 17. I don't know if that will probably go down as a deciding factor or not, but that's where I'm at with it.
My thing is like, if the Rams would have beaten the Seahawks and gotten the 1 seed, which was very possible, they had a 16-point lead. They scored a touchdown in overtime. They became the first team ever to score a touchdown in overtime and lose the game. It had never happened before because they changed the rule, right? They score a touchdown in overtime and they end up losing. Like, if they would have got the 1 seed, I don't really think there's a discussion here. Do you? I think it would obviously be Stafford.
Yeah, it would obviously. The only difference to me is the division, because normally the MVP wins the division, so May won his division. But Stafford, I think, had a
right.
I mean, statistically, he had a far better season than Drake May did.
Yeah.
And obviously, Stafford played a much harder schedule than Drake May. The media probably, I haven't been as tuned into it, but I'm assuming the media wants Stafford to win it. Is that fair to say? I'm not really sure.
I think the people who want May are pretty loud. I think maybe more people want Stafford, but the people who want May are like,
yeah, they're
loud about it. At least they are on Twitter. At least they're on Twitter. But anyways,
I don't know.
I digress. But those are the only 2 questions you have about the Patriots. I mean, they're what they did this year basically was above reproach, other than like, is May going to shrink in the playoffs, which is always something that's on the board, and is the strength of schedule that has been a blessing to get them the 2 seed, is it going to come back to bite them here, where they have they faced a defense like, no, they haven't faced a defense like the Chargers. They have not faced a defense this good all year.
Yeah.
Period.
The strength of schedule,
like, they faced Buffalo, they faced Pittsburgh.
Argument, but they did take advantage of it. They did go 14-3 and get the 2 seed.
Yeah. So, absolutely. Again, though, that they played 3 games against teams that finished the season over 500.
The hardest defenses they played, I'm
1-2.
looking at, they're obviously the Bills defense, the Steelers defense, which they only scored 14 points on, and the Browns defense, which they put 32 on, and I guess the Falcons defense, which
they hammered the Browns,
but it's the Browns.
They hammered them. But yeah, so it'll be fun. I'm excited to see what Drake May looks like in his first playoff game. I will say that. I'm very excited for that.
And lastly, too, I do think the Patriots are an incredibly well-rounded team. They don't have many weaknesses. I think their pass rush could be better. Their pass rush isn't incredible, but they're facing the Chargers' offensive line. So if you can't generate pressure against the Chargers, you deserve to lose this game. You absolutely deserve to lose this game.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get pressure. They're going to be able to get pressure. And they're not, like you said, that's not their calling card, but they're going to be able to get pressure for sure.
Yeah. So they don't really have, outside of a slightly less than average pass rush, they don't really have any weaknesses at any front, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, they get enough production from their receivers to it might be a quote unquote weakness for them, but I think it's probably league average, like their receiving group with Stephon Diggs, how he's played, and some of the other guys.
Like
so
Mac Hollins has been good. You got who's the deep threat they got? Kyle Williams has been good. Hunter Henry's a touchdown machine.
Kyle Williams.
Yeah, so they've got weapons. It's not like
Demario Douglas.
Yeah, Pop Douglas.
It might be a little closer to 20 than 15 receiving rooms, but like, you'll take the 18. If the 18th receiver group's your weakness, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure Josh Allen would love to have the 18th receiving room in the NFL. Like the Patriots are better than the Bills at receiver.
I wonder what Josh Allen would do with Stephon Diggs.
I wonder. Makes you think, doesn't it? On the Chargers side, this is a Harbaugh team. I've got. I guess you tell me what you think first. I've got Herbert talks.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
I mean, the main thing, I've listened to a lot of media guys talking about Herbert and what this game means for him. I just want to take a second to reflect on the season Justin Herbert's had. I don't think it's gotten enough respect that it needs.
Right.
Hey, obviously everybody knows the offensive line is bad, right? Like everybody still knows how bad the offensive line is. He has been sacked 54 times. Did you know that's the third most by an 11-plus win quarterback in the Super Bowl era? He's been hit 129 times, second most in 20 years. He has 268 pressures against him. That's sixth most since the next-gen stats have been made for the NFL. And he's been pressured on 109 quick passes, which is an NFL high. He's tied for first in the NFL with touchdowns under pressure. He has 10 touchdowns outside of the pocket, which is first in the NFL. He has 10 touchdowns on the run, which is first in the NFL. And he has 7 touchdowns on extended plays, which is 4 or more seconds, which is first in the NFL. So Justin Herbert, we've had the conversations before on the podcast where you've kind of been a little bit on the anti-Herbert. Not that you don't like him, but like, when he lost that playoff game and threw 4 interceptions last year, like even I had to admit, like that's a bad look, man. You can't do that.
That's a tough look.
You can't do that.
So
this is the year he proved himself for sure as one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, under no circumstances can he have a bad game against the Patriots and like that still be everybody's like, oh, he's one of the best, or I guess he's one of the best, but like you can't have him in that elite category. It's going to be hard for him to win a game behind this offensive line. He has quite literally far and away the worst offensive line in football. Now, I'll also say the gap's not massive between them and the Patriots, team-wise. Like, they can win this game. They can win this game.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to get that off my chest that Herbert has proved himself one of the elite quarterbacks this year.
Yeah, he's been excellent. And so a couple things I think are true. I think for his like legacy might be too big of a word, but for how he's viewed amongst NFL quarterbacks right now, I think Drake May and the Patriots becoming media darlings actually helps him because I think if he plays well and people know about the offensive line and they still lose, I think he's going to get a little bit of a pass because people know about the offensive line and because people think the Patriots are so good, right? I don't think he's going to get crushed. Now, if he plays poorly, Ben,
I'm not going to argue.
The sample size will be 3 games. The sample size will be 3 games, and to this point in his career, he has been a shrink when the moment's bright. He is that if he doesn't play well in this game, that will be a fair thing to tag on to him. Now, look, some of the greatest quarterbacks to ever live have had that. Peyton was awful to start his career in the playoffs. Lamar has had
more
like
bad games
2
than
good
games.
playoff games. Yeah, he's had like 2 good playoff games against teams that were kind of overachieved to get into the playoffs. And then in the biggest moments has kind of melted down. Like he has a good half and a terrible half typically in the playoffs. So that's kind of his thing right now. After 2 games, I'm not willing to say that's who you are. So I'm not willing to say that with Herbert as of right now, though he has been bad. If he looks awful in this one, even with the offensive line being what it is, like that's going to be tagged to him. So there is a little pressure there. But I think if he plays well and they lose, I don't think he's getting crushed for this because people know the state of that offensive line and they think the Patriots are really good.
Yeah. I guess that's where I'm at is I think Herbert needs to have a good game for sure. I don't think he needs to win it. I really want him to win it. If Josh Allen doesn't win the Super Bowl, I want it to be Justin Herbert. Herbert or Stafford,
yeah,
obviously, but I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think he's got to be one of the toughest quarterbacks in football. Like if you've seen the physical abuse he's had, like he's constantly banged up this year because he just is getting hammered, and that dude keeps getting up, and he's performed in the tight spots this year too. Like when the Chargers have needed him, he's met the challenge head on. And he kind of has a subpar receiving group as well. I mean, Keenan Allen's 34 years old, shell of himself. Quentin Williams, dropsies out there. Yeah. The rookie they took in the second round, Trey Harris,
Johnson,
he's basically nothing. And Ladd really hasn't done. Ladd had a great rookie year and has kind of been a shadow. I mean, he hasn't been bad, but he's not been what he was. So it's not like he's out there with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins like Joe Burrow's got. I mean, he's got a bad offensive line and probably league average weapons, I would guess. So it's been an impressive year.
Right.
I want to just recognize the year he's had with these conditions. And I'll also agree, too, I don't think – I say all that as a defense of Herbert, but I think this is a winnable game. This is a winnable game against New England.
I think their path is that New England comes out and starts really slow offensively because they have not seen it. Drake May just hasn't seen a defense like this. That I think that's their path. That, New England isn't able to get a ton going in the first half, and maybe they get somewhere between 3 and 10 points in the first half, and the Chargers maybe get a couple touchdowns, and Herbert does enough. I think if he can get to now, who knows? Maybe Drake May goes out there and even against this defense, which is very good, lights it up, and there's nothing they can do. Maybe that's the case. But I think if Drake May sees this and struggles because he hasn't seen a defense this good all year, I think 21 may win it. I think 24 wins it. Can Herbert get there? I think that's probably their path to win, which is very possible.
It's going to be a field position battle, too. Like, I've seen the Chargers put themselves in some bad situations to where, like, Herbert's got to drive the football 95 yards to kick field goals and stuff. That's not going to do it against New England. They're not going to be able to survive that against the Patriots.
Yeah, and let me pull up the weather because they have a really good kicker, but, it's Boston. They may have terrible weather. This is Sunday night. I mean, you're talking about...
It's going to be cold. Ooh. It's going to be cold.
We might get some snow.
Oh,
we might get some snow. We're talking about 32 and snowing, maybe a little rain. I mean, it's going to be kind of nasty. So, you can't really rely on deep field goals in that weather. So it'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. It's a big, like, it strikes me as a game that's like, when you get in the red zone, you got to cash in with touchdowns. And it's always that way. But I feel like this game more than any other this weekend is like, we got to have 7. We cannot settle for 3 because 3 might be tough to come by with this weather. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about this one. Herbert's one of my favorite guys too. I'm not as nervous. I'm nervous about the Bills game just because that's just how I get about players I'm a big fan of. I'm nervous for the Chargers, but it's not going to be like devastating for me if the Chargers lose. Like we know Herbert's legacy so far. Like if he has a good game, that's all I'm really pulling for. Can the Chargers win it all?
Man, I would love to say yes, but the offensive line, I don't think I don't think this offensive line plays well enough for 4 straight
I agree.
playoff games.
I would love to
I just
see.
don't think they have that in them. But
I'd love to
who
see
knows?
it, but I'm with you. I don't think they have the horses to get it done. How about the Patriots?
Yeah.
Can the Patriots win the whole thing?
I think so. I think we will. I think we'll know a lot after this week. Honestly, go back and look at the history of even really good quarterbacks in their first playoff start. It's ugly for a lot of guys, and so I think if Drake May is just not if it's just not ugly, if it's just a 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, 45 yards rushing, and they win, 21-17. Even if he just gives us that, then I'll think, okay, he felt it. He got to feel the playoffs. They're going to have another home game. And maybe they can get some momentum. I think it's possible. I think it is possible. Let me think. In terms of the AFC, I might think they're the 3rd most likely team. Is that right? Is that what I think? I think they might be the 3rd most likely team to do it.
I would say that's
Am I
fair.
missing somebody?
No, I would have them ahead of the Broncos, Jags, Bills, and then Patriots.
I think so. I think that's probably how I would see it as of right now.
Yeah, I agree they can do it. When you are one of the more complete teams in the NFL, which they are, you can't really make a ton of excuses for why they shouldn't be able to win this whole thing. I agree. It's just hard to see it year 1 for Drake May, but they've got a good defense. They got a good coach. They got everything you need to win a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So,
all right.
Yep. Last game, and then hopefully we can cover this last one pretty quickly. And then we'll try to cover coaches right before we leave. Texans,
what time are we at?
We're at an hour and 5 minutes.
Whew.
Yeah.
We might not be able to talk coaches.
We spent a while.
Dang.
Texans versus Steelers. Where do you want to start here? This could be an ugly game.
I think it could be, and it probably will be. I think I like the Texans, but I might be like maybe 60-40 Texans. I think the Patriots or the Steelers are very alive. They're at home Monday night. Are they an underdog in this game?
I think they are.
Let me look. I haven't looked at the spread.
They have the Texans by 2.5.
Texans by 2.5. So apparently, I am not a gambler. Gamblers say the greatest coach of all time is not Bill Belichick. It's not Vince Lombardi. It's not Bill Walsh. It is Mike Tomlin as a home underdog. Apparently, he just is unbelievable as a home underdog. So you like that if you're a Steelers fan because he's been in these moments a lot. But I got an interesting question for you, Ben.
I like interesting questions.
On Monday night, as of right now, who's got the best quarterback in the game?
Steelers.
I think so. It's close. If we were to rank the top 20 quarterbacks, I think these two are probably really close together at this point. And obviously CJ's like half his age.
Yeah.
But I think the Steelers may have an advantage of quarterback.
I was ready week 17.
Defense.
Okay. Week 17 when the Texans jumped up 14-0 on the Chargers. They ended up winning the game, but they jumped up 14-0 on the Chargers. Stroud threw 2 long bomb touchdowns. I was like, oh, if this is what the Texans can do, with their defense, this is scary. I had a text typed up I was going to send to the group chat that said, I'm officially picking the Texans to win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl for the AFC. And then the rest of the game happened, and I'm like, I can't do it. I think CJ Stroud's really good. I think their weapons are good, but they're just too inconsistent for me to say, like, oh, this team's going to win the whole thing. Their defense absolutely can. Right. No question. can they find some consistency on offense?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I was in on the Texans for a few weeks in a row. Like I was all in on the Texans. Like they beat the Bills and they beat the Chiefs, and now the Chiefs win doesn't look as good. Obviously, now that we see what that roster was, but like I don't know. I don't have a great feel for this game. I would say I think this is the game I have the least feel for. I could see Rodgers doing enough. I think 21 wins it for sure.
I'll be surprised.
I don't see either of these teams getting
points.
Yeah, I don't see either of these teams. Certainly, I don't see him getting to 25. I think, and hey, man, Rodgers he's old and he's not the greatest playoff performer there ever was, right? No. He's had moments in the playoffs, been a while. But do I trust him? If this is a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, do I trust him and Mike Tomlin at home over CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans? Though I love DeMeco Ryans, I do. So that's got to be something. I think roster wise, I would pick the Texans. I think weapons wise on offense, I would pick the Texans. Defense, pass rush, clearly. DBs, clearly, I would pick the Texans. But again, like it's Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers. And yes, Tomlin has struggled. They have not won a playoff game since 2016. That is not Mike Tomlin's fault. They have not had good players or good quarterback play, I guess we should say. Can they win this game? Yeah, I think they might could. And so I'd probably like 60-40 Texans right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's very possible the Steelers win this game.
Yeah, I think I would have more confidence in the Texans' ability to get to the Super Bowl over the Steelers. But I think the Steelers can absolutely beat the Texans. If they win this game, it'll be ugly.
Yeah.
They do get DK Metcalf back. That is something to note. Aaron Rodgers pulled off some late-game heroics without DK Metcalf against the Ravens to win the division. Now the Ravens, there's questions on how good they are overall as a team, but still some late-game heroics by one of the best to ever do it. He gets his best weapon back. He's at home. Is there really pressure? I was going to say, pressure's on him. Is there really pressure on Aaron Rodgers to win this game?
I don't. There's always pressure when it's the playoffs and you're the Steelers, right? But I don't think he gets killed for losing. I think if they lose this game, this was a successful season and a decent way to retire. Like if he does choose to retire, which I think he will. But he gets massive credit, I think, if they win. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it's the Peyton Manning last Super Bowl version of a quarterback. If they win, he gets massive credit there. So I think the key to the game for me, honestly, I think the most important factor in the game is like, how long is he willing to hold on to the ball? Because we've seen games this year where he ain't getting hurt. He ain't getting hit. I'm getting rid of it, right? Is he willing to hold it a little longer to let things develop in this game, even with the Texans pass rush? Maybe he is. And if he is, maybe they do get to 21 and that's enough to win it. But I'm excited to watch it. It's not going to be like, it ain't going to be Chiefs Bills from a few years ago, but it can still be a really fun game.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited for this one as well. Do we think the Texans can win it all?
I'm going to say it's possible. I would have them ranked. I think I would have them fourth in the AFC because I think if they get good quarterback play from CJ Stroud, I think they can beat anyone on any day. I don't think the Steelers have that ability. I'm not sure the Chargers have that ability, but I think they do. I think at their best, they can beat anyone. I think I would rank them fourth as far as AFC teams, right after the Patriots, right before the Broncos, and or probably Chargers then Broncos actually to make the Super Bowl.
I can agree with that. I agree with that. Do we think the Steelers can win it all? I don't think so.
No, they can't.
I think they got a shot. They had a shot at this game, but they ain't got a shot at the title.
Here's what I'll say, though. If they win and there's no upsets, meaning they play Denver next round, I would pick Denver.
Maybe.
But they could win, dude. They could make the AFC. I think there is a path they make the AFC Championship game. Now, I don't think they beat New England, even though they've already beat New England this year. New England turned it over 5 times in that game.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think they beat New England. I don't think they beat the Jags or Bills. But I think they might be able to maybe beat anyone else. So it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun.
I think that's it. I think we're ready to watch some football this weekend. I'll say what happened.
Yeah, we were going to talk.
We don't have time to get into it a lot. Harbaugh got fired. Did he get fired or they split up ways with the Ravens? I don't know, but he's gone.
I think he got fired, and I'll say, let me just pat this show on the back a little bit. I think I had the greatest prediction in the history of the show. Because after like week 15 or something, I came out and said, I think we're going to get some article come out in the offseason or in the next few years at some point talking about how Harbaugh and Lamar did not have a good relationship. They did not work well together. 8 hours after I said that, before our episode was posted, someone from the Baltimore Sun had that out, and it probably came from the Ravens or Harbaugh side, I would guess, talking about Lamar's study habits and how they didn't get along and how he's sleeping in the meetings and just all this stuff. And I was like, I sent it to you guys. I was like, did you guys see this? I just said this last night. And it came out that day. So, but I think we're going to get more. I think it's going to be deeper than that. I think this relationship was bad. Like, I think it was a situation where they could only bring one back. And obviously you're going to pick Lamar in that situation. Just because it's easier. It's going to be hard to replace Harbaugh because he's great. But it's easier to replace Harbaugh than it is Lamar, which is impossible to replace, as in he's one of the 12 greatest quarterbacks to ever live. And those don't grow on trees, Ben. So, yeah. So it's a crazy one.
I think it's an exciting time
but let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah, okay.
I've got to get this out there. I think I would be shocked if this is not where Kevin Stefanski goes. I'd be shocked.
I mean, that's the best job. That's one of the best job openings you're going to have in a long time.
Oh, it is, because like I said the other day, really the two biggest things I care about is the third one is division, which he knows the division because he's been in the division. And let me tell you something. It's a lot easier playing the Browns when you're the Ravens than it is playing the Ravens when you're the Browns. So that's a check mark. The other two things I care about are ownership, which they are an A- to an A at ownership, and quarterback, which they're an A to an A+ at. And so it doesn't come around often. I think they're going to be interested in him, and I think he's the top candidate right now, unless they just want to go with a defensive guy and they want to go to Brian Flores or something like that. I think this is a great spot for Stefanski, and I think this is probably where he'll go.
Yeah. I could agree with that. The only thing I could see happening is maybe there's a holdout. If the thing that would shake things up is if the Bills lose to the Jags and they get rid of McDermott, then it's probably a 2-horse race between Harbaugh and Stefanski for the Bills job. So that's the only thing I could see Stefanski holding out for. Stefanski and Harbaugh both holding out for that job if it comes open.
Yeah. I think if Stefanski takes a job this week, it'll only be the Ravens. I don't think he's taking any other job this week. Maybe looking at that Bills, maybe having his eye there. But yeah, I think he could go to the Ravens, and I think Harbaugh would be probably the number one candidate if they let McDermott go. If they lose this weekend, right?
Yeah. Now, if the Bills job doesn't come open, I like my Falcons' chances to get him. I think that's one of your better
you got
options.
A shot.
That's one of your better options in
you got a shot. Yeah.
In the coaching room.
You got a shot. The division is an A+, and then quarterback is up in the air, but I don't think Blank's a terrible owner. I don't think he's an A+, but he's a
No.
C plus to a B,
But
maybe,
I mean,
owner.
I would,
and so
I would pop blank up just a little bit with the decision to move off Raheem and Terry, Terry Fontenot all at once. This was like, he's like, dude, I'm tired of this. I want to win football games. So I would give a boost to that ownership there.
Right, especially when your other options are Arizona, who's an F owner, Cleveland, who's an F owner, the Raiders, which maybe with Tom Brady it changes, but have been an F owner. Like, these are the other options. The Giants, who Mara has not been a great owner. Like, he's dealing with health issues right now, but he's not made the best decisions, I don't think. I mean, so yeah. So you got that going for you.
Yeah. We'll mention it, but we'll leave the conversation for another time. Kingsbury's out as well in
you're gonna kill me.
You want to say no? Okay,
you're gonna kill me.
We'll end with this. I know you said you had a take you wanted to get out there. Say that.
So the reporting on this is really weird. So it's a mutually agreed to part ways. He didn't get fired. My reading on the situation is, and there's some reports that, he and Dan Quinn had differences of how to run the offense. I don't think that's what it is. I think Kingsbury wanted to move on. And there's one reason I think he wanted to move on. And it's not, you mentioned, is he going back to Arizona? No, he's not going back to Arizona.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
Obviously,
I said it was a joke.
Yeah, you knew that. That was a joke. But I think he either thinks Matt Nagy is going to get a head coaching job with someone, or which he's interviewing right now, or the Chiefs are going to let him go. And who was his quarterback when he was the head coach at Texas Tech?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was number 15.
It was number 15. I think him walking away, like, I know Washington was not good this year. There's not that many quarterbacks in the league. We can argue how many. There's not that many quarterbacks better than Jaden. Patrick Mahomes would qualify as that. I think he thinks the Chiefs are a little frustrated with Nagy.
They should
And
be.
let me tell you something. If you can go and you get the Chiefs offensive coordinator job right now, and you get to be with Patrick Mahomes, that's a job you don't just leave to go be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans or the Raiders or whoever else has a job opening. That's a job where if you get that right now and he comes back and Mahomes and the Chiefs offense has success again, you stick it out till Mr. Reed retires. I think that's what he's looking at. That's the only thing I can think of. Unless he has like a college job that's right there sitting for him, which I haven't seen anything about that. Chiefs offensive coordinator is the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah. Chiefs is the only job that makes sense to me going back with Patrick Mahomes if that becomes available, which I think has a good chance to. I think Matt Nagy could get a head coaching job with like the Titans or one of these lower jobs. And I also think he could get fired. So I think that's what Kingsbury has his eyes set on.
I didn't think about that as a reason, but I do like that. And I saw something the other day that said Matt Nagy would interview for jobs. I don't. Why though? I genuinely have no idea. Like,
no, he's got an interview.
The Chiefs offense.
He's got an interview with the Titans.
Has ever since he got there and Bieniemy left, the Chiefs offense has been significantly worse than it wasn't. What is the appeal?
Went from
he was horrible in Chicago, and he systematically destroyed one of the best offenses we've ever seen in the Chiefs. Where's the appeal?
They went from the best offense of all time to like 14th to 17th on a given year.
Why is he here?
I don't know, but I do believe that is why Kingsbury's stepping away.
That would make sense.
I think he thinks that job may come open. And let me tell you something. If the Chiefs are missing an offensive coordinator and it's not going to be Bieniemy, if he has a good relationship with Mahomes, which I have no reason to believe he doesn't, I think Mahomes might be like, hey, let's get this guy on the coaching staff. And you want to talk about an upgrade?
Man.
Going from Washington, which, yes, they've turned it around a little bit in the last few years, but you see, Jaden gets hurt and they win 4 games. You go from that to the Chiefs, even though they might have to do a little bit of reload on the roster.
Worth it.
You could do worse.
It's worth it.
You could do worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I like that. I think that's a good take. I think that's a good take to end on. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll end it there.
Yeah. I am incredibly excited to watch these games. You and I and all of us will be locked into every single one. I'm not planning on missing a snap of football this weekend.
Locked
And
in.
Yeah.
My wife came in talking about maternity pictures this weekend, and I say,
no.
As long as we do it before 4:30 on Saturday.
Like, it needs to be
I'm
like
good.
multiple hours before that, because like you need time to wrap
If-
that up,
if-
get home, like get baby to bed, all that stuff. You need to sit down and watch
Right.
football.
As long as I'm sitting on the couch at 4:30, we're good.
Yeah.
So
That's where we're
I'm
ending.
pumped.
We will see you
Absolutely
guys
pumped.
next week
what a great weekend.
with so much to talk about next week.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all we
yes.
got, dude.
And I'll say this for the listeners, like once we get to playoffs, we'll be diving much more into what actually happened in the game. Not as much, still doing big picture stuff as well, but like we're going to be recapping the plays of the game and actually what happened and give thoughts on that. So I'm pumped about it.
Yeah, if you listen to
Pumped about
our playoff episodes last year, it's going to be a lot more like that, which, in my
Oh,
humble
yeah.
opinion, was our best work we've ever done, was those episodes. So
Absolutely.
I'm
the best
excited
thing we've
about-
done. For
Yes,
sure. For
absolutely.
sure. It was.
I'm excited about it. We will see you guys this time next week with week one's recap. We'll see you.